Mirage Digital presents The Amazing Stories with Zaki the Hoopoe. Season 2, Special 3, Once Upon a Squawk. Salam, my amazing friends. It's me, Zaki the Hoopoe, your faithful feathered storyteller. I can't believe we've flown through a whole season of stories together. Stories of courage, patience, faith, and
of grand adventure upon the open seas. Aye, the kind of stories that make a seagull's feathers stand tall with pride.
Suhail, what are you doing here? This is a quiet reflection episode.
Reflection, bah! The listeners want action. I've decided it's time for me, Captain Suhail ibn al-Bar, to share a tale of my own.
I had a feeling this was coming.
A tale so daring, so dazzling, it'll make your little hoopoe crown spin in admiration.
You can't just declare you're telling a story in the middle of my...
Too late! I've already declared it.
Of course you have.
In fact, let's make it interesting. You tell a story your way, I tell mine my way, and we see whose story wins the hearts of the listeners.
You want a story duel?
Aye, the great story-off.
Oh, this is going to be a disaster.
A glorious disaster, lad. Now, ready your quill. The winds of storytelling await.
All right then. 2 storytellers, 1 story. Let's see where this adventure takes us. All right, our story begins on a quiet morning by the sea. The sun was rising, and the waves were whispering against the shore. There was once a young fisherman named Sammy who dreamed of finding something truly special. A treasure, not of gold, but of purpose.
Aye, and he was handsome too, brave as a falcon and strong as a whale. Why, his feathers, hair, flowed in the wind like seaweed on a stormy tide.
He didn't have feathers, Suhail. He was a person.
Bah, details. The lad's got spirit. Anyway, one day, while rowing across the sparkling blue waves, he spotted something gleaming beneath the water. A pearl, as big as a...
Don't say coconut.
2 coconuts.
Suhail!
What? The bigger the pearl, the grander the tale. You've got to give the listeners something to imagine, lad.
Fine. A pearl as big as 2 coconuts. When Sammy lifted it from the water, it began to glow, softly like the moon on a quiet night. He didn't know it, but this pearl wasn't ordinary.
Aye, because it was guarded by a mighty talking whale.
A talking whale?
Of course, the whale of wisdom. Great fins, booming voice, smelled faintly of seaweed stew.
Why does everything in your story smell like stew?
Because everything's better with stew.
All right. So the whale spoke, and it said,
Young fisherman, return this pearl to the sea, and you shall be rewarded with...
something far more precious than treasure.
Wait, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you.
Aye, but what happens next, lad? You can't just end it there. Where's the danger, the drama, the daring rescue from a whirlpool of doom?
I was getting there. Sammy looked down at the glowing pearl, and for a moment, he hesitated. He wanted to keep it, but deep in his heart, he heard a quiet whisper reminding him to do what's right.
The whisper of the whale, eh?
Maybe. Or maybe it was something greater, a reminder that honesty and trust bring blessings no treasure ever could.
Aye, that's beautiful.
Thank you, Captain.
But then...
Oh no, here we go.
A giant storm swept the sea, waves taller than minarets, lightning that lit the skies like lanterns of fire. The fisherman was tossed this way and that, the pearl rolling about the deck like a runaway oyster.
And yet, he didn't let go of the pearl. Even when the storm raged, he held on, not out of greed, but out of faith.
Aye, that's the spirit, lad.
He remembered that the sea belonged to Allah, and that if he returned what wasn't his, he'd find peace even in the storm.
Then he threw it back, didn't he? Right into the sea with the wind roaring and thunder clapping.
Yes, and the moment he did, the sea grew calm.
By the barnacles, that's actually a fine story.
It's our story, Captain. Now, I suppose that's the end of Act 1.
Aye, lad, but something tells me Act 2's where the real storm begins. Now, where were we? Ah, yes. The sea had gone calm, the pearl had been returned, and the young fisherman thought his troubles were over.
Except, of course, they weren't.
Indeed, for just as he breathed a sigh of relief, he heard a voice from the depths. You have proven your heart true. Now face your next trial.
Suhail, are you adding another trial to the story?
Aye, every good story needs a sequel, lad.
That's not how storytelling works.
Says who?
Says the storyteller.
Well then, lucky for us, I'm also a storyteller.
Oh dear.
So, the fisherman dove beneath the waves, straight into the mouth of the whale of wisdom itself. Down, down he went, past coral castles, glowing fish, and treasure chests guarded by cranky crabs.
Cranky crabs?
Aye, the worst kind, snappy and sarcastic.
All right then. The fisherman met the cranky crabs who said,
You again? Another hero with a glowing rock?
No, the fisherman replied. I've come seeking wisdom.
Aye, and the crabs said, Well, you won't find it here, bub.
Are you trying to turn this into a comedy?
No, lad, it is a comedy. The world's full of lessons and laughter.
I suppose you're right about that. But if every story is silly, how will anyone remember the message?
Ah, the message, that's easy. It's about, teamwork and courage and large aquatic mammals who talk about stew.
That's not a moral, Suhail, that's lunch.
Close enough.
Then suddenly, the pearl rose from the sea again, but this time it spoke.
It spoke. Pearls can't talk.
Neither can whales, but you started that part.
Fair point. Proceed, lad.
The pearl said, You've done well, fisherman. Return home, and you will find the greatest treasure of all.
Aye, and when he returned home, there it was. A golden ship, a crown, a mountain of coins,
No, Suhail, not gold.
Not gold. Then what? Feathers. Feathers are quite valuable, you know.
He found his family waiting for him, safe and smiling. That was his treasure.
Oh, aye, that's actually lovely.
See? Not every story needs thunder and treasure to shine.
But maybe a tiny bit of thunder, just a rumble.
Maybe one little rumble.
All right, lad, but tell me this. If we've both been steering the same story, who won the story off?
I think we both did.
Bah, that's no fun, but I suppose you're right.
Maybe the real story wasn't about pearls or whales or stew, Suhail. Maybe it was about learning to tell the story together.
Aye, a tale shared is twice as bright.
And far more fun to tell.
Aye, lad, though next time I'm starting with a storm.
And I'll bring the calm after it. You know, Suhail, I think we might have learned something important today.
Aye, besides the fact that pearls can apparently talk.
Besides that, yes, we started this wanting to see who could tell the better story. But the story only worked when we listened to each other.
So, you're saying me interrupting you 100 times actually helped?
I'm saying it taught me something.
And what's that, lad?
That stories like people grow stronger when we share them, not when we compete over them.
I think I see it now. Like two wings on the same bird, eh? One wing can't fly alone.
Exactly. When we tell stories together, when we build instead of battle, we soar higher.
Then maybe you and I aren't rivals after all, lad.
Who said anything about rivals?
Ha! Good. I was worried for a moment there.
But if we are rivals, then it's the good kind. The kind that helps us both grow.
Aye, that's fair. By the barnacles, you're wiser than you look, young feathers.
And you're kinder than you sound, old captain.
So, what's our moral then, eh? Never let a seagull start the story.
No, Captain. The moral is that every voice has value, and every story is stronger when told with kindness, not competition.
Aye, I like that. A fine ending, that is.
Then let's make it official.
Together, eh?
Together.
May your hearts stay braver than the waves and lighter than the wind.
And remember, the best stories are the ones we tell. Together. You know, Captain, I think that's the true gift of storytelling.
Oh, do enlighten me, young feathers.
It isn't about being the loudest or the cleverest or even the funniest. It's about sharing, about lifting each other up, the way a story lifts hearts.
So, not a competition then?
No, just a conversation. Between voices, between hearts.
Aye, and sometimes between a hoopoe and a seagull who can't stop interrupting.
Yes, even then. We learned today that every story, every good deed, and every friendship is built stronger when we listen, not to win, but to understand. Because when we work together, we create something far more beautiful than we ever could alone.
Aye, lad, like two wings of faith on the same wind.
Exactly, Captain. 2 wings, 1 flight. So, wherever you are, my amazing friends, remember that your story matters. And when you share it with kindness, it can change the world. One heart at a time.
Beautifully said, lad. Truly touching.
Thank you, Captain.
Of course, my version of the story had a bigger whale.
And that is exactly why I never let him start first. This story was produced by Mirage Digital. Voices provided by Wayne Holland as Zaki and Curtis Fletcher as Captain Suhail. Episode written, directed, and edited by Syed Kashef and Atef Hussain. For more content by Mirage Digital, please visit our site at www.mirage.digital.
Content copyright and production copyright 2025 by Mirage Digital.